Hello everyone, my name is Hecthor Doomhammer and this is a re-record of the vlog number 34. And today it is June 3rd. Actually it's gonna be June 4th in just a couple moments because I'm recording this 3 minutes before midnight. Damn it, just missed the Iron Maiden reference. Anyway, this time I have the microphone a lot closer and I've got a bit more of an idea on what I wanted to talk about since the last vlog that I did, or the last attempt I did, was during a live stream on where I was waiting for somebody that eventually showed up far too late, but I still managed to get something done. Anyway, I talked about the Roadie Fest that I was holding, and originally when I first came up with this idea somewhere in between April and June of last year, I figured that this idea was going to fail horribly, never gonna succeed, because not only was I supposed to find a place to hold it, which I thought I could never do, which I later did, also it was reliant on 15 other people, namely the members of the bands. And since I knew that the bands wanted to spread their name outside of the hometown and therefore not play in the hometown, I figured, well, it's never gonna work anyway. But not only did it work, it was, according to what I would say is the second most successful thing I've ever done. And the most successful thing I've ever done, I've talked about numerous times in the past, namely paying off my debts. Anyway, it was such a huge success that with this being the first edition, people were already asking for a third edition, with me asking, okay, what about the second edition then? With the response, yeah, you have to host it somewhere in between. That little thing with my throat is actually the reason why I haven't been doing much of anything lately. Since April this year I started a new job. Again, I'm not gonna go into details because I don't care, but a week after I started I came down with a flu, a fever, and later it turned out to be bronchitis. And this bronchitis has been sticking with me for quite a while. It actually went so far that I was coughing up blood, just tiny little clots, but still blood. And that's when I decided to actually go to the doctor. So I did get scolded, like, you should have come a lot sooner, but hey, I explained, like, well, at first it was just the flu and the fever, so I figured that the coughing that came along with it was only supposed to be part of that, but the coughing remained for quite a while, and then eventually came the blood, and that's when I decided to call the doctor. So I've been given medication. The medication did do something, but the effects are taking a really, really, really long time, as I'm still stuck with it, like 6 weeks later. But a week after the medication ended, I decided to wait for that one particular week after the medication ended before contacting the doctor again, because on the internet I did read that the medication that I got could have some after effect, or just needed to work a little longer after the 7 days were over of taking the medication. So I did that, and eventually I got an inhaler, but that was probably the dumbest idea that I've ever had, or that the doctor ever had, because the inhaler actually made things worse for me. And now I'm stuck without the inhaler, without the medication, and just the order of just let it get out of your system naturally. It's gonna take a while, but at least I'm good enough that I can stream again. Which I've actually done just today, on June 3rd. Now it's already June 4th. I did a second episode of The Sims 4, where I recreated my own apartment. And that video is up on YouTube already, so go check that out. But in the meantime, because people were going back to the Roadie Fest, sorry, my mind is all over the place. I thought I had things figured out, but I guess I didn't. Also, long live no editing. But because Roadie Fest was such a huge success and people were already demanding a third edition, I kind of just started playing around with ideas for a second edition, and now we have what I've already posted on my YouTube channel, Roadie Fest 2, coming up on September 21st of 2019, with ideas for even 2 more Roadie Fests, number 3 and 4, somewhere in 2020. And I'm actually planning to go a lot bigger with this. I want to continue with this because organizing this, despite the fact that I had absolutely no experience whatsoever when I first came up with this idea, RoadieFest 1 was a hell of an experience, a fun experience, and I learned a lot. And with organization of RoadieFest 2, it's going so much better that I basically don't even have to lift a finger anymore. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We've got Degenerate, Hollowed Fire, no, Degenerate, Onct, and Evil Oath. Evil Oath actually shares the same singer with Morphicor on the first RoadieFest, and Degenerate shares a guitarist with Hallowed Fire. That's why I thought about Hallowed Fire, which also played on RoadieFest 1. So we have two people returning from RoadieFest 1 into RoadieFest 2, and I've already been approached by a few bands that want to perform on the RoadieFest. So I think I'll soon have a list of potential bands and potential lineups for even more RoadieFests. It's going to be an interesting venture, and I'm up for it. Also, it's a bit of more good news. This is going to be my last week in the Netherlands I'm taking a 3-week vacation to Sweden, and this will be the first time in 6 years that I'm heading to Sweden. And it'll be my first time of proper vacation longer than a week, longer than a long weekend, basically. Since April last year, when I went to Paris with my parents for Disneyland, and also then visited Maelstrom. And ever since, I've been working, changing jobs and working. But I pretty much planned out this vacation, and I told my new employer that this was going to happen no matter what, and they still hired me, so they're fine with it. Yeah, so a couple changes here and there, bit of health issues here and there, but great things in the near future. And what I'm planning, or hoping, I say plan, but I mean hope, is that after my vacation I can get back into streaming a little bit more. I will be streaming this week on Wednesday and Thursday, and that's probably just going to be Sims 4, because now that I've finished the apartment in-game, I just want to build a life for the sim and see what can get done. And furthermore, after my vacation, I'm gonna be streaming whatever I feel like. It's still that I don't want to be dedicating specific days to specific projects. I don't want to promise anything, because I just keep on breaking my promises when it comes to streaming, because things get in the way, things come up, or I just don't feel like it. And when I don't feel like it, then that just brings forth my commentary style and tone, and I just don't even enjoy watching that myself. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in 3 weeks after my vacation. Otherwise, I'll see you on Wednesday or Thursday this week. And otherwise, well, we'll see. Anyway, my name is Hecthor Doomhammer. Thank you all for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.